Okay, my name is Jessica, and for my Jesus and pop culture presentation, I'm going to be focusing on Jesus action figures. So action figures in general are popular toys for children. Some adults collect them. Usually they are famous people, heroes, cartoon characters, characters from TV shows or video games, or just any popular figure in pop culture. They vary in price, and usually they are movable so that kids can play with them. Here are some popular action figures. Over here on the left, these are superheroes. And then on the right are characters from Star Wars. So this is an image of the main action figure I wanted to focus on. As you can see, it says Deluxe Miracle Jesus action figure, feeds 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish, turns water into wine, and it has glow-in-the-dark hands. Here are some other examples of these action figures. This one's a little bit different. Has a little bit less information on the front of the box. And then the third example I have a little bit different still. This one includes a story of Jesus, which I thought was really interesting. It says, Tales of Glory, Jesus, God's Son. So going back to the original example that I have, it says it feeds 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. And this is a direct reference to Matthew 14, feeding the multitude. And basically what this story is about is how Jesus took 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish and divided them into very tiny pieces and fed them to 5,000 people. And at the end of the meal, everybody ended up full, which was miraculous, and it's a very popular story from the Bible. The second reference is turning water into wine. This is from John 2, when he said, Jesus said to the servants, fill the jars with water, and they filled them up to the brim. But you have kept the good wine until now. This, the first of his signs, Jesus at Cana in Galilee, and manifested his glory. So again, this is a very popular story from the Bible. Most people know this story, and again, this is on the front of that box. And then the last reference is the glow-in-the-dark hands. So at many points in the Bible, there are stories about Jesus miraculously healing people with his hands. One of these first stories is in 2 Kings, when it says, he went up and lay on the child and put his mouth on his mouth and his eyes on his eyes and his hands on his hands. And he stretched himself on him, and the flesh of the child became warm. So again, many stories similar to this. This is just one of them. But I think the glow-in-the-dark hands is kind of a satirical way for them to add like biblically accurate information to this Jesus toy. So again, here's a picture of the original box. I think that this action figures kind of serves 2 purposes within pop culture. Number one, I think that it's comedic and satirical for adults and scholars alike. Just condensing Jesus down to this very tiny kid's toy and just adding like a couple quick and like funny points about how Jesus is this miracle prophet. I think that is satirical. And then the second function would be as an educational toy for children. So again, one of the examples, going back to this one, it includes a story of Jesus. And while I don't think that's a complete Bible, I think it's probably just like a small story. I think that could be used as an educational toy. I could imagine, kids in a Bible study or like before school program or a preschool playing with something like this. I think that in that case, it's leaning more on the educational side. But yeah, overall, I think that this is kind of a unique representation of Jesus in pop culture instead of like a video or a song. I think that the actual toy is really interesting, and I learned a lot about Jesus in pop culture through this presentation.